Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle Barrett. I've been a personal stylist for 25 years. I now help people like you build capsule wardrobes that mix and match easily. So today is a little bit of a controversial one, and I know some of you won't like it, but I kind of feel that the points that I'm going to make in this video are beneficial to everybody. So today I want to talk to you about 10 style pieces that will instantly age you. Now you might say to me, I don't mind looking older, and I absolutely I take my hat off to you, because I think there's so much pressure to look younger. So this is not really what this is about. It's more about you kind of looking like and feeling like you are sort of part of something. You know, I know a lot of you have said to me you don't want to look frumpy. So this is what this is kind of about, really. More about you not feeling like you look frumpy, and you feeling like you're kind of part of something, and you kind of feel like you're put together. And you know, you still want to look good, and you still want to look cohesive. So the points that I'm going to make today are very much the things that I would avoid if that's the case, because it's so easy to slip into kind of ways of dressing that sometimes you don't realise. You've been doing it for so long, you don't realise kind of how sort of outdated or frumpy that might look. So I'm going to give you some suggestions today, because what I don't want is that your clothes make you look frumpier or make you look like you're older than what you are, and I'm sure most of you wouldn't want to be in that category. So before I go on, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who is liking, subscribing. Please subscribe. It genuinely helps me bring content to you. If I don't get subscribers and I don't get people watching my videos and sharing my videos, I can no longer do it. So it genuinely helps me. So please subscribe. Also, if you need help with your capsule wardrobe, booking for a consultation with me, I'll put the link here. I would love to meet you. I'm genuinely enjoying meeting so many of you. So there are lots of reasons why somebody's wardrobe might slip into that kind of dated, slightly frumpy area, and it usually happens over quite a long period of time. You know, it can be changes in the workplace, maybe you're looking to retire, and it's not because they don't care anymore. Often women, we're focusing on the family, we're bringing up the family, plus we're trying to hold down a job. There's so many things that we're holding in the air. What we look like tends to go to the background, and there's no reason why it should, but I totally understand and have experienced myself why that happens. So today I just want to give you a little bit of a gentle help about what pieces in your wardrobe you might want to in time look to replace with something else. Now, number one is shiny leggings. Now, it depends whether they could be coated, like painted like proper silver or gold, or they could just be in a polyester and the kind of that leather wet look, but they're not good. Now, the reason why they're not good is because they show up every kind of lump and bump and cling to you, and they kind of look, sometimes I think, like people are trying too hard. Now, I know some of the leather kind of pants are okay. I've actually got a pair myself, which I do sometimes wear, but they very much look like leather, black leather. I will sometimes wear like a jumper or something like that, but I'm talking just the kind of shiny sort of polyester look. It really doesn't look good for anybody at any age, and unless you're kind of literally 18, it probably is going to look a little bit like it's aging you. So what I would suggest instead, go for cigarette cut trousers, or kind of a slim cut pair of jeans in a dark kind of indigo colour, or like a pair of slim cut trousers in maybe black or navy blue or whatever it is, to kind of get that look of something that is kind of sort of more fitted, but it's not absolutely clinging to you. And if you even want to go further ahead and you want to go a little bit more on trend, then I'd go for a slightly wider leg, but definitely avoid those shiny leggings. Number two is crop tops. Now, I actually, again, I'm a bit controversial with this one. So crop tops, most of us won't want to wear those anymore, and they can look a little bit sloppy. They can kind of make you look older than what you are, because it kind of feels like a little bit like you're holding on to something. But what I will say is, is that try to go for something that's just sort of tailored, skims your body rather than clings to it or overwhelms it. Definitely, so maybe like a shirt that's in a regular cut or something like that. So it is a longer length and you can kind of tuck it in or have it a little bit longer. Although if you are quite big around the hips, I'd avoid anything that's longer, although that feels like the instinct to go against that. But anyway, that's another story. Book in for a consultation with me if you need help with that. But alternatively, now with a crop top, there is one way that you can get away with wearing it, and I have actually done this myself, and that is to wear very high-waisted trousers or high-waisted skirt if that works for you. Because what that does is that high waist meets the bottom of the crop top, and it's just like you've kind of moved your pants up and you've moved your top up, and it's kind of meeting in a different point. So I think in that instance you can get away with the crop tops, but as a general rule I would probably avoid the crop tops. Now next up is baggy dresses. Now what I mean by this is sloppy kind of baggy dresses that just sort of hang off your body. They make you look bigger than what you are. It also looks like you're trying to cover something up in a lot of cases, unless you are kind of, again, like I say, like 18 and 6'2", you know. It kind of looks sloppy. It looks a little bit like you've given up as well, in my humble opinion. So I would definitely choose something that comes in slightly the waist and kicks out. Now, it is hard to say what works best when I'm talking such a wide range of people, but generally you want something that skims the body, whatever size or shape you are. You don't want something that's going to hang straight away from your armpits all the way down and kind of go into some sloppy kind of thing down to your knee. You know, think about those cardigans, the really big kind of baggy cardigans where their pockets kind of hang sloppy open like that. The kind of dresses like that, that's what I'm trying to get you to avoid. So try and go for something that's a little bit more tailored, a little bit more structured, that kind of comes in a little bit at the waist. Maybe it's got a belt at the waist, and if so, it could gently skim out. Something like something like a tea dress works really well, because that kind of shape and that kind of cut works for pretty much everybody. Next up is lingerie and underwear. Now, it is so important that you have underwear and lingerie that actually fits you and supports you. It can make a huge difference to how garments look on you. So if, for example, you have a dress, like a tea dress, like I mentioned earlier, and you've got correct support on your bra, the way that dress fits on you will look so much better. So you want to go for a bra fitting. Please, if you haven't been for a bra fitting for years, go for one. Go online now and book in for one somewhere in your area, because it will make a huge difference. Similarly, with knickers, you don't want something that's going to dig in. You want something that's going to fit you properly. Now, it's obviously absolutely your choice what kind of style you go for, but something that doesn't dig into your skin, because again, that can become visible on the outside. So if you're wearing a pair of kind of slim cut trousers, for example, you can kind of see where those knickers are sort of digging into your skin. So make sure that you kind of have underwear that fits you really well, supports you in the right places, and also, you know, treat yourself. Find something which is in a colour as well that works well with the rest of your wardrobe. So go for kind of skin coloured underwear if you are looking for lighter colours. Now, I know that there is an issue in regards to colours in some skin tones and matching them with underwear. Nubian skin is a great one for that. They actually have quite a range of colours. They were one of the first ones to do it. I was so pleased as a costume designer when that company came out, because I used to struggle with this all the time when I had anybody who wasn't Caucasian skin come to me who needed something that had that kind of sort of nude feel to it. So Nubian skin is fantastic, and also Skims do quite a wide range as well. Now, what I will say within this as well, there is an element of whether you have the support like underwear that actually draws you in and sucks you up and everything else. That that kind of is down to you. I do know that some of the biggest names in the world wear those kind of garments underneath their dresses, which is why they look so slinky and amazing. So I know they work. I don't have a lot of personal experience with them. I've never actually worn them myself, so I don't know how comfortable they are, but that might be something worth looking at if it is an area that you're not so comfortable with. But try and choose something that kind of covers quite a lot of the body, because what you don't want is where it draws you in one place and then all the kind of excess loose skin kind of pops out somewhere else. So definitely look at your underwear and go and get a bra fitting, please, because that can definitely aid you. Now, one of the next things that can make a huge difference to how clothing looks on you is colours that work for you, enhance your skin, kind of enhance your complexion. So getting a colour analysis done, if you've not already had one done, can make a huge difference. Again, booking for a consultation with me if you want to chat to me about that. Now, what I will say is, and this is based on 25 years of experience and working with clients now, and some of you will be watching this and you'd have worked with me and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So those traditional colour palettes which came out in the 1980s, there were 4 of them, then it expanded to about 12 in about the 1990s. People still don't fit perfectly into those colour palettes, in my humble opinion. So I end up swapping colours out and replacing them with colours that I think work better for the individual when I do a colour analysis. So often my colour analysis can be called anything from, you know, it could be called potato, it could be called anything, because I literally make the colour palette up for the individual. But it does make a huge difference. It can definitely enhance your features and it can definitely help you look more vibrant. So it's a really important one. Particularly as well, if you've decided to embrace the grey or you've got salt and pepper coming through, you will likely have probably started to notice that some of those colours that worked for you when you were younger maybe don't feel like they're working for you anymore. It definitely changes your palette. So if that's you, definitely get in touch with me if you're struggling with it. Because the other thing is as well, you can't just put grey into one category. It's not just grey, it's sometimes silver, it's sometimes white, it's sometimes cream, it's sometimes almost yellow. So definitely kind of think about the colour and how that works in your wardrobe as well. Next up, and this one I know is going to be a bit controversial as well, because I know some of you will love them, but long cardigans, long sloppy cardigans. Now, I don't think they even look good on 18-year-olds, you know. I mean, everything, I can throw like a packet of crisps at my daughter and it looks great on her. But I don't think those long sloppy cardigans look good on anybody. The reason why is because the weight of the pockets and the weight of the bottom band of the cardigan just sort of hangs down, and it's almost like, you know, it's just like drawing you down like that, and it just makes you look drab and it makes you look like they don't look nice, okay? And they do look like they age you, because it almost looks to me like people that have given up. Now, don't get me wrong, I know when I've mentioned this before, a couple of you said to me, oh, but I wear mine, I have it around the house, and brilliant, go for it. Absolutely go for it. Anything that gives you comfort, you keep that thing that gives you comfort. But I'm talking about if you're wanting to go out and you're wanting to not look frumpy, then maybe leave the cardigan at home. Now, the next one, I know, again, some people will be like, oh no, it's like Parker style coats. Now, when I say Parker style coats, I don't mean the ones that sort of embodied the mod era. I mean the ones that often have a little drawstring around the waist. They might have a little bit of fur around the collar. They often come in colours like lilac and plum and maybe navy blue, which is kind of fine, that's okay, and then maybe pale blue. And they're often on websites that are sort of aimed at very middle-aged women, and that's the reason why, is because they do look a little bit frumpy. I hate to say it, I'm really sorry, I know you don't want to hear that, but they do. So I would go for something that is, again, tailored, wool, single-breasted, if you've got a little bit of weight on you, kind of something that's quite timeless and classic. You know, think of the kind of 1940s style coat, a really simple, classic, timeless wool coat. My nan, you know, who lived till she was 102, used to wear those coats right up until she died, and they looked amazing, and they're so much more timeless, and I think that's something that would stay in your wardrobe for years. If you want something you've got to invest in because you've not got loads of money, me, then look for something pre-loved, like I said before. But those kind of parka coats definitely do look a little bit aged. I'm sorry to say it, but they do. The next up is a short-sleeved open neck blouse, sometimes with a little bit of embroidery here or something like that. So it's flat. When I mean open neck, the neck comes down in a V and the collar sits very flat to the body. And they're often in slightly boxy shapes, maybe with a little bit of shape to them, and the sleeves usually come to about here. Really, really dated straight away. They just look really dated. Now, if you are somebody who wants to have something like that, I would go for something with a proper structured collar, like a traditional collar, but just wear the buttons, two or three of the buttons, depending on, you know, how wide the buttons are apart and how low you want it to be and you're comfortable with, but with a couple of buttons open. If you kind of want that kind of feel, it gives the same sort of feel, but it's much more kind of modern looking than those flat open neck styles. You know, I'm kind of talking about the ones that are often shown in workwear catalogues. You know, they're very kind of flat and it kind of sits like that. Or again, they're often in those catalogues aimed at middle-aged women. So definitely try and avoid those as well and go for something that's got a proper structured collar. Next up is kind of mesh or black lace worn with leather or kind of black, you know, like a black lace panel in a dress or something like that. Now, I know that was really trendy in the 80s, but it does look really dated now. And it did sort of come back for a little bit, for a little while. But I think on a kind of certain age demographic, particularly kind of if you're like me, sort of 50 plus, it kind of looks like you're harping back to something again. Now, don't get me wrong with all of these suggestions that I'm making. If you love something that I've suggested, you just carry on wearing it. Just completely ignore me. But I am just giving you the points as I see them. So try and avoid all the fuss and kind of lace panels and all that, and just go for something that's kind of just simple. It doesn't have to be particularly glitzy. It doesn't have to have anything fussy about it. You know, if you want to kind of add a little bit of glitter, add it to your shoes, add it to your bag, you know, just add it kind of somewhere else, or maybe with jewelry, but keep it kind of quite understated for those kind of evening outfits, and avoid that kind of lace kind of mesh paneling, you know, particularly worn with leather, because it kind of does look really dated. Now, last is 3/4 length baggy kind of trousers. Sometimes they're called ankle grazers. They're often elasticated around the waist. These look really, really dated straight away. So what I would do if this is the case and you look at those and you kind of like that kind of style, try and go for full length. Get it to meet your shoes. Also, with the elasticated all the way round, that often digs in and your tummy often pops over the top of it. If you're going to have any elastic and that feels comfortable, because I know some of you need it because maybe you've had surgery or you've got tummy issues, so have the elastic at the back and have a flat panel at the front. Now, if you've got any tummy as well, you want it to be flat at the front. You don't want them to be pleated, but definitely go for full length. So go for straight leg or wide leg, and avoid those kind of 3/4 length trousers. Again, I hate to say it, that you see quite often in those little catalogues aimed at middle-aged women, because it does instantly age you and it does instantly look dated. So I hope you found that helpful. And let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if you agree with me. Let me know if you disagree with me. And let me know what you think looks quite dated as well. I'd really love to hear from you and hear your input and see if there's anything that you want to include that I haven't included today. So please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, click that little bell button so you get alerts, because all of that genuinely helps me bring more content to you. I genuinely want to continue this channel, and for me to be able to do that, I need YouTube to think that you like what I'm doing. So please carry on. Let me know what you think. Let me know what else you'd like to see. So have a wonderful week wherever you are, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.